Okay, so like I said, I hope you enjoyed the stories about the submarine, but now I'm going to talk a bit about shark attack. Everybody's interested in shark attack. There are about 300, there are about 530 different species of shark. And most people out there believe that every single shark species, most people don't even know how many shark species there are, but everybody believes that every shark out there is a man-eater. And it's completely incorrect. Most shark species don't get to more than about 3 or 4 feet in length. They don't get to more than about a meter, 1.5 in length. So they're simply not big enough to attack a person. And they wouldn't even try to attack a person. You must also remember that skates and rays are also considered sharks. So they also fall under the family or the species of shark. And skates and rays, except the stingray, there's no skate or ray out there that can come and bite your leg off. So out of the 530 different species of shark, as far as I'm concerned, there's only 3 dangerous animals. 3 sharks, for want of a better term, are man-eaters. But I'm not talking about the typical man-eater thing where they go hunt men, but man-eaters where they'll attack a human being. And that is the great white shark, the tiger shark, and the bull shark. There are other species of shark. I call it the dirty dozen, for want of a better term again. There are other potentially dangerous shark species, and I'll name some of them. It's the dusky shark. Dusky sharks, they get pretty big, 2.5, 3 meters long. The sand tiger shark, we call it the ragged-tooth shark. It's called the sand tiger shark in certain places. It's called the grey nose shark in other places of the world. The mako shark is potentially dangerous. The blue shark, a big blue shark, is potentially dangerous. The salmon shark is potentially dangerous. The oceanic white-tip shark is potentially dangerous. The big bronze whaler or copper sharks, they are potentially dangerous. Great hammerhead, you get different species of hammerhead shark. The great hammerhead is potentially dangerous. And the reason I say they are potentially dangerous is because they get large enough that they can actually bite a human being. But generally they don't, for different reasons. Now, the reason why the bull shark, the tiger shark, and the great white shark are dangerous sharks to human beings is because they are found where human beings are found. They come into shallow bays, they come to reefs. Bull sharks will often swim in the surf zone. Tiger sharks will come into a bay, not this bay because this is not conducive to tiger sharks, but tiger sharks will swim into bays in warmer tropical waters. They'll come into shallow enough water that they could attack you when you're only waist deep in the water. So basically, these are sharks that are large enough to take on something the size of a human being. And a human being is a big prey item. And they occur where human beings occur. People go into the water to surf, to bathe, to go spearfishing, whatever it may be. A whole lot of different activities, and usually it's close to shore. And these sharks, these 3 species, the great white, the bull, and the tiger, they come into the same areas. So they encounter human beings, and as I say, they're large enough to take out a prey item the size of a human being. So they are the dangerous sharks. The dusky shark has also been implicated in a number of attacks on people, but it's not a shark that would normally go for a human being in clear water, because they don't get big, they don't get that large, and secondly, they're really focused on fish. But what happens, they often swim in the surf zone or very close to the surf zone, and they just swimming along waiting to see a fish, and they whack the fish. So often they'll be swimming along, and there'll be a guy sitting on a surfboard, for instance, and they'll see that in the turbid water, and they'll just grab it, But generally they won't sever the leg, or they won't take too much tissue out, or they won't even take tissue away. They'll just spit and off they go again, and a person will end up with stitches and a good story to tell his mates. But then I also mentioned the other sharks. Maker sharks, oceanic whitetips, great hammerheads, blue sharks, they don't occur where humans occur. These are all pelagic animals. They live very far out to sea. They swim 10, 15, 20, 100, 200 miles out to sea in the oceans. So unless your yacht sinks, or you were a victim on the Titanic and it sank in warm water, you would never ever encounter these animals. So although they get large enough to take out something the size of a human being, they very specifically hunt things like squid, tuna, hake, deep water fish or deep ocean fish. They're pelagic sharks that don't come into contact with human beings. So they're not dangerous to people. I don't consider them dangerous. I just consider them potentially dangerous because you might go out and your boat sinks, and something like a great hammerhead might come and bite you, or a oceanic white-tip shark may come along and bite you. So they're potentially dangerous, but they're not dangerous to people. I mean, the amount of people that get bitten by these sharks is almost non-existent. It's minuscule. The sand tiger shark lives in shallow waters. They live around reefs. I could catch a sand tiger shark right here at one of these reefs that are only in 10 or 15 meters of water. But the sand tiger shark, although they have been implicated in incidents and what you can, if you want to call it, attacks on human beings, if you look at their jaw, their tooth structure, and you look at how they hunt and how they live, they are designed to eat fish. Now, a great white shark's jaw structure, and you take a bull shark or you take a tiger shark, they got these very sharp blade-like teeth. The great white shark's got these, what you call, triangular serrated teeth. These animals, like the bull shark and the tiger shark and the great white, their teeth are designed to go through bone and cartilage and thick skin. I mean, they are such incredible machines, these jaws that these animals have. But a sand tiger shark, it's got these long, narrow teeth, and it's got multiple rows, and like that, and it's more like a bear trap or a trap. And that's what they do. They swim along slowly, a fish comes too close, and they trap the fish. So just looking at the tooth structure of a shark can tell you whether the shark is a potentially dangerous shark to humans or not. So that is the basic story about shark attack. The only sharks out there that are dangerous, like I say, great white, bull shark, and tiger shark, because of their proximity to human beings. I want to give you a few statistics. Each year, roughly, if you really look over a period of time, there's about 100 shark attacks reported from different parts of the world. Some years there are 50 shark attacks. Other years there are 100 shark attacks. It really varies. It's not a clear-cut, linear situation. And out of the 100 people that get attacked by sharks a year that are reported attacks, you probably find between about 6 and 25 people die. So you get between 6 or let's say 5 and 6 fatalities a year around the world. Shark attack has slowly risen. If you look at actually look at the line, but it's not a sharp rise, but it's slowly risen over the years, and that's just because more and more people use the oceans. There's more activity in the oceans by human beings. Our wetsuits and things like that allow us to spend longer periods of time in the water, which obviously increases the chance of an incident with a shark. So there's been a little increase in shark attacks over the years, but there's also a huge decrease in the amount of sharks out there, which is something we're going to be talking about. But statistically, the chances of being attacked by a shark is tiny. 150 people a year die, plus minus, on average, die from being hit on the head by falling coconuts. And I've never seen a headline that says man savaged by coconut. You know, but many more people get killed by coconuts, for goodness sake, than sharks. Mosquitoes kill 750, 800,000 people a year. Bengal tigers kill 500 to 1,000 people a year. Hippos kill hundreds of people a year in Africa. Crocodiles kill dozens, hundreds of people in Africa every single year. Dogs, family pets kill more people than sharks around the world. More people die slipping in the bathroom. More people die from eating plants they should not eat. More people die choking to death on a fish bone than get killed by sharks. So I can go on and on and on and on. Sharks have got a bad reputation and people are afraid of them because we go into the ocean, which is not our natural environment. So already we're out of our natural environment. And then we know that there's something out there that could, although the chance is that much, there is something out there that could come and turn me into a shark burger. Like that. Come and take my life like that and whack me, I'm gone. I'm eaten in the water. So that is the fear that people have. But the fear of shark attack is blown completely out of proportion, and it's based on misconceptions. You know, there are things you can do if you're really afraid of shark attack. There's certain things that you can do to minimize the chances. Obviously don't go swimming around a seal colony, for goodness sake, unless you're a complete idiot. If you see that there's a lot of fish activity near the beach, don't go swim there, because where there's bait balls and there's fish activity, you got predators, and there could be a shark there feeding and chasing the fish as well. If the water is really murky and it is a known area for bull sharks or tiger sharks or great white sharks, rather don't go and surf there, because the shark will not be able to recognize you as not being its natural prey. It might just feel you on its lateral line and hear you in the water and come up and bite you because it thinks you a struggling turtle or fish. Never surf alone. Don't go surfing alone. Don't go spearfishing alone. Simple rules. Just be clever about it. But what I want to tell you, last thing, and this is what people don't know, and it's quite interesting, it's ironical. Sharks save many more lives than they take. And I'm talking about the disparity in these figures is massive. Sharks save thousands and tens of thousands of people a year. When compared to how many people's lives they take. And the reason they save so many lives is because of the fear that we have. The fear that human beings have for sharks actually keeps us within our depth. If we didn't have this fear for sharks, many more people would get out of their depth, they would swim further out to sea, and they would drown. And that is a fact. It's a guaranteed fact. So that fear that we have of sharks actually protects us, because it keeps us out of danger of drowning. It keeps us within our comfortable, safe space in the water. Anyway, that is what I've got to tell you about shark attack. I'm going to do one more video after this, and the video is going to be about great white sharks attacking boats.